In the beginning of the story, we see the main character of our story, Makoto, who had won a lottery and he got admission in a very big school. Makoto is very happy with this, and when he reaches inside the school, as soon as he steps inside, he falls unconscious, and when he opens his eyes, he sees that he was in a room, and there were many CCTV cameras installed inside that room. He also finds a paper there on which it was written that he has to reach the main ground as soon as possible, and when Makoto reaches the main ground, he finds many other students. Like him, Monokuma did not know anyone there except Kyoko. We come to know that in childhood, Kyoko and Monokuma used to study in the same school, and they both were very good friends, but then the self-proclaimed headmaster of the school, who was actually a robotic remote-controlled bear, comes there and tells all the children that from today, all those people will stay in this school forever, and to pass out from here, they will have own. Nobody likes the idea of killing their classmates, so all the children there start looking for a way to get out of the school. Even after searching for many days, they do not find any way to get out. But then they are all called together where the principal bear named Monokuma shows each student a video which motivates them to kill their classmates. In Makoto's case, a video of his family being put in danger. Sayaka is also unnerved by the contents of her video. Makoto tries to calm her down, promising that he will find a way to get both of them out after learning from Makoto about the faulty door on his bedroom's shower room. Makoto is approached by Sayaka, who states she is afraid that someone may be after her and offers to switch rooms with her to put her at ease the next day. However, Makoto is horrified to discover Sayaka laying dead in his shower room, stabbed in the stomach with a kitchen knife, and he gets very angry when Principal Monk Mo says that one of your classmates has killed Kyoko, and they will have to find out who the killer is themselves. And if they find out the real killer, then that killer will be punished, would be given the death penalty. But if they send an innocent student for execution by turning him into a killer, then their whole class would be executed, except the real killer. And of course, no one likes this, so the name Junko, a girl, starts hitting Principal Monokuma and starts disrespecting him, but then as a punishment, some spears come out from the ground and stab Changu and kill him right there. Immediately after this incident, the details appear on all the children's phones. She goes regarding Sayak's murder, because it was clearly written in the details that Sayak's death happened in Makoto's bathroom. Makoto becomes everyone's prime suspect, but still they go to Makoto's room and investigate. They found some evidences, like Sayaka was stabbed to death with a kitchen knife, and Sayaka had left a message behind on her body, which was 1037. After finishing their investigation when the students were going to the courtroom, then a girl named Kako gives Makoto some advice, and then we see in the courtroom Avi, who is a seaman, and Sakura, who is a martial artist, tell everyone the knife with which Kyoko was murdered. That knife was in the kitchen the whole time, but it was missing since the last time Kyoko visited the kitchen. Kyuka also tries to prove Makoto's innocence by saying that it is believed that actually Saya had called someone to her room so that he can kill that guy. And all the blame falls on Makoto, but things didn't go as per her plan because Makoto's shower was damaged. The door was broken. Does that mean Makoto is not the murderer? Because he had the key to his shower door, and he could have easily opened that door. There was no need to break it. And then Makoto talks about the same code, which is written on the wall. It was written 11037. And when you reverse this code, it forms a word which we can read Leon, and it means the killer is none other than baseball player Leone. And the biggest evidence of this was his own shirt on which there was blood. It was stuck on his head and he forgot to remove it, and gradually all the kids give their evidences against Leon. Principal Morokubu also finally executes Leon by hitting him with a lot of baseball balls and killing Kyo's Makoto at night. To comfort the four, which she believes that the message Kyoko wrote was probably meant to protect Makoto. The next day, Principal Manakum gives all students the key to the second floor as a reward, which allows them to access the library, as well as the swimming pool, which had gender-divided changing rooms. The students investigate in the library and find a broken laptop, as well as a letter stating that their academy was closed a long time ago. While exploring the second floor, Makoto sees Akawa, who is actually a writer and has a crush on Bakyapi, who is a very cool and cold-hearted guy. Moving further, he meets Makoto, who is a biker, and their hall monitor also notices Kyuta, who is doing an endurance battle, and since they both spent a lot of time together, They both became really good friends, but then the principal Monokuma announced that if in 24 hours, Annie next, if the clinging is not done, then they will make everyone's secret public. And the next day, we see that Chihiro has been murdered. And she was a programmer, and she was killed in the boys' changing room by someone who killed her and gave her a crossfire. Everyone is investigating that. They start inside the room and find a lot of evidence, but it was not that strong. Then a girl named Sele, who was a student among the same students, says that she saw Cairo last night, namely Aqua. She is still in her room, and when she is called down, she refuses to come, saying that her scene with Byakuya is reversed, so she can't come right now. After this, we see all the kids in the courtroom. They have arrived, and the first argument is given by Byakuya. Byakuya says that this is the work of a serial killer, and that serial killer is none other than the genocider. Immediately after saying this, he points his finger towards Aqua and says that the genocide is none other than Aqua. Or should I say that Akawa has a second personality? Hearing this, Akawa is very shocked and she falls unconscious. And as soon as the real Akawa falls unconscious, her second personality, the genocide, takes over. The genocide accepts that she likes to do serial killings, but she did not commit this murder because she uses scissors in her serial killings. And what she said was actually correct. So now everyone suspects Byakuya, but Byakuya does not care at all, because then Monokuma says, I don't understand how Hiro's body reached the voice changing room. Then Kika says that Cheru was actually a boy who used to cross-dress as a female. Everyone gets a bit shocked to hear this, that then Gamet tells Celtus that she saw Chihiro last night. And in the middle of this conversation, Makoto accidentally tells what color jersey Chihiro wore last night. And because of his mistake, everyone gets shocked. It is revealed that Makoto had killed Chihiro last night. Makoto, who could not do anything now, accepts that he had killed Chihiro. Principal Monokuma tells them that Chihiro is already very weak. He used to feel this way, and that is why Chihiro used to dress like this. And one day he told the same thing to Makoto, thinking that Makoto will help him to become a good boy. But Makoto, whose brother had died, was getting very angry on his face because somewhere his brother had died because of Chihiro. So in anger, Monokuma killed Chihiro, and now when Makoto was guilty, he was executed and he was taken around with great force on a bike. That turns out to be his best friend. Kyuta is deeply saddened by Makoto's execution and becomes a bit demotivated. But after that, we see Principal Monokuma talking to a mysterious person from 16 about the student. Then it's the next day, and Principal Monokuma gives them the key to the third floor as well, where there's an art room, a playroom, and a physics lab. Before the students can investigate that floor, Principal Monokuma, they announce a prize money of 10 billion rupees. They say that this prize money will be given to the student who successfully passes out from here. In simple words, this will be given to the student who survives till the end. However, no student is impressed by this. But after that, we get to see the changing room scene where the students discover a laptop of Chihiro, which he had left in the locked room before he died, and in that laptop he had set up an AI named Alter Ego. The Alter Ego helps the students in decrypting the files of the laptop. But Katka asks the Alter Ego if she holds him responsible for her death. And on top of that, the Alter Ego creates a Makoto and asks him to say some words to Katka, which caused a lot of problems for Kyoto. He gets motivated, I mean a lot, but then his Alter Ego shows him a photo in which Leon Sheru and Makoto were together, which he had never taken himself, which means that his Alter Ego really has a lot of power. But then his Alter Ego, there is a small conflict between Kyoto and Hifu, a Dongan artist, regarding his Alter Ego, which Kyo manages to calm down. But shortly after this incident, the Alter Ego disappears, and the back begins to suspect that there is a traitor lurking among the students. The next morning we see Makoto, Seiko, and I, to whom Alethea tells that a short while ago she was attacked by a man in a robot costume, and that man kept Hifumi as a hostess. After hearing this, Byakuya's group and Makoto's group separate and begin looking for the killer. Makoto's group reaches the medical room where they see Hifumi's body, and then an alarm goes off. The scene ends with Principal Monokuma revealing that Hifumi has died. Makoto goes to inform Byakuya's group about this, and they arrive at the physics lab where they find that Kataka has also died. And when Makoto returns to the medical lab, he finds out that Hifumi has died. When he goes to the room, he finds that Vroom's body is missing. When he reaches the physics room with Beck, he finds that Taka's body has also mysteriously disappeared. Both their bodies are later found in the art room. Everyone inside was now quite shocked as to how this could happen. Then we see Hifumi regaining consciousness, and he says, "I wish I had met you guys before. Well, whatever it is, Asahina Hiro killed me." And with this, Hifumi now dies for real, and just after his death, the discovery alarm goes off again. After listening to Hifumi, everyone was convinced that Asahina Hiro, the fight teller, is the killer, and he is holding Yoka near the pool. Was found in a robotic body. The trapped Asahina Hiro denies that he did not kill anyone. Rather, he was called near the bridge by giving him a note, and then he was made unconscious, and he does not even know where that note went. Makoto Kaka and the rest of the students are on their own. They investigate, and then they are called to the courtroom. As soon as they enter the courtroom, Makoto starts giving proof of Asahina Hiro's innocence. He says that Asahina is not a hero because he did not design his suit himself, and on top of that, he is not wearing any clothes in that suit. It is a very difficult task to kill two people and carry their bodies from one place to another. Kyuka also tells that the two murders that have happened are two different murders. Hifumi first faked her death and then went and beat her up. Ka was killed, and when he brought Kutaka's body to the art room, someone else killed him in the art room. And now when everyone knew this much, the question was that who is the killer on whom Makoto is accused? Pei point out saying that Celestia should it was already known, while the alarm was rung for only one. Hearing this, Celestia becomes very angry and brings back Hifumi's last words. Makoto says, "Yes, you are right. Asahina is a diamond. There is a killer, but not that one, but you, because your real name is also Taiko Asahina Hira." Hearing this, Celestia accepts that yes, it was he who killed Fumi. Then it is revealed that Celestia had stolen the alter ego. And by tempting his alter ego, he got Taka killed by Hifumi just so that he could get Hifumi out of his way and win the money and buy a huge castle with that money. Well, all this can't happen now. And now it was the turn of Celia's execution. Before her execution, Celia secretly gives the key of the altar to Kaka, and we see that just like in the old times, witches were killed by burning them. The cell was just placed in the atmosphere, but then a huge fire truck comes and gives the cell a trial. After this trial, Kyoka gives Makoto a key and asks him to check the room behind the boys' toilet. He sees that there was a secret room near the boys' toilet where very valuable files were kept. Makoto picks up a file, and it was written in it that no matter what happens, you should not run away from this school. And before Makoto could read anything more, a marked person comes from behind, hits Makoto on the head, knocks him unconscious, and leaves from there. When Makoto wakes up, he sees that all the files were missing from there. Makoto then goes to his room, and on the way, he sees Principal Monokuma and Sakata arguing with each other. Principal Monokuma threatens to kill Sakata's parents, and Sakata has to go to a hospital to save them. Would have to kill after hearing all this, Mako does not come to any conclusion and thinks that he should talk to Sakura once. And Yoko also comes to know about this, and she gets very angry at Mako for keeping secrets from her. That day, Principal Monokuma also gives them the key to the 4th floor, where there are some rooms where Principal Monokuma forbids students from going, but of course, students still go there. After talking to the alter ego, the students get to know about them. It appears that their school is on lockdown due to some incident that may have been caused by their school principal. After hearing this, their alter ego shows them another image, this time of Saya with Hifumi and the Greys, and the principal in assembly. Afterwards, Monokuma announces to everyone that Sakura is the mole who was ordered to kill someone in exchange for her dojo's safety, hoping to bring about another murder amongst the group. As Aoi becomes angered by the mean words said about Sakura, she ends up getting into a scrap with Genocider, leaving Sakura angered that innocent people got involved. Meanwhile, Alter Ego asks Makoto and Kyoko, who forgives Makoto for keeping quiet about Sakura, to take him somewhere where he can connect to the school network so he can find a way to help the students escape. Despite knowing the risks involved, Makoto and Kyoko respect his wishes and set him up in the hidden room from before. Later, Makoto, Kyoko, and Aoi discover Sakura dead in the rec room, which has been locked from the inside as Kyoko conducts her investigation away, directs her anger towards Byakuya Toku and Yasuhiro, feeling one of them is responsible for Sakura's death, following an investigation in the Chemics lab. The class trial begins. Toku reveals Byakuya and Yasuhiro all received notes from Sakura, calling them to the rec room where she had witnessed Yasuhiro attack Sakura with a glass bottle out of fear. However, Yasuhiro, being the culprit, is ruled out when Makoto reveals Sakura had been hit twice. The second hit is revealed to have come from Toko after she had passed out from seeing Sakura's bloody forehead and became genocider, hitting her with another bottle. As this is also revealed to have not been the killing blow, Byakuya reveals that the actual cause of death was poison, presenting a bottle of poison whose contents were replaced with a protein shake. Aoi then announces that she herself is the culprit, claiming that she had replaced Sakura's protein shake with poison and gave it to her. However, Makoto and Kyoko's analysis of the closed room scenario, along with a piece of glass found in the poison bottle Byakuya presented, revealed that Aoi had only been hiding the fact that Sakura had actually committed suicide. As the trial comes to an end, Aoi reveals that she had purposely tried to steer the trial to a wrong verdict, believing from a suicide note that Sakura was suffering and feeling everyone deserved to die to make up for it. Monokuma subsequently reveals the note she read was a fake he had made with Sakura's real suicide note, stating that she took her own life to save her dojo, stating her wish for everyone else to make it out of the academy alive. Although the others feel encouraged by Sakura's dying wishes, Monokuma then reveals he had caught Alter Ego trying to hack into the school network and destroys his laptop with a dagger. Later at night, Kyoko has Makoto distract Monokuma while she does some investigating of her own, later warning him about the academy's 16th student in super high school level despair. Mukuro Ikusuba, after the group explored the 5th and final floor, counting a botanical garden and a classroom filled with blood. Byakuya questions Kyoko about her identity, but she states she doesn't remember due to amnesia. As Byakuya dismisses this idea and confiscates Kyoko's room key, Makoto was given the responsibility of looking after a survival knife that Toko found later that night. Kyoku, who had managed to obtain a mysterious key, and the details about Makuro from the headmaster's office. Thanks to Sakura breaking down the door, asks Makoto to keep Monokuma occupied, while she goes off to investigate the dorm building's 2nd floor as Makoto comes down with a fever as a result of staying up all night. He has a dream stating he's supposed to stay in Hope's Peak Academy instead of escape from it, before witnessing a masked person wielding the survival knife, followed by Kyoko, telling him something he can't hear. Waking up the next morning to discover the knife he had been keeping had gone missing. Makoto heads to the gym, where everyone else is disassembling a broken-down Monokuma unit. Whilst looking for a way to break into the headmaster's office for answers, the group discover a corpse in the botanical garden resembling the masked attacker Makoto saw. Before they can remove the mask and identify the victim, a bomb goes off, torching the corpse and leaving it unidentifiable by the time they put the fire out. Finding a key to the data processing room, the group are confronted by a fully working Monokuma, who reveals all their actions are being broadcast live to the outside world. To make matters worse, a class trial is to be held for the corpse they found, which is revealed by Kyoko, who is alive and well, to be that of Maruko Ikusuba. Before the class trial, after Byakuya has Makoto investigate Kyoko's room, Kyoko tells Makoto that the key she found is a master key that can open any door in the school. As the trial begins, Byakuya accuses Kyoko, who has no alibi for Makuro's death, while she curiously brings up evidence that effectively negates Makoto's alibi, believing the cause of Makoto's death. To be a blow to the back of the head, Byakuya deduces the weapon with some steel arrows found in the dojo locker, the key to which was discovered in Kyoko's room, although this appears to be contradicted by the fact Byakuya had the key to Kyoko's room the entire time. Makoto considers the possibility that Kyoko could have used the master key she stole from Monokuma. Noticing her desperation that she not be found guilty, Makoto decides to place his faith in Kyoko and not expose her, instead questioning the odd nature of the trial. However, Monokuma suddenly declares an abrupt end of the trial, declaring Makoto to be the culprit and deciding to have him executed before Makoto can be killed. By a crusher, a virus left behind by Alter Ego stops the crusher and allows Makoto to fall safely into a garbage dump. Below, sometime later, Kyoko throws herself down the garbage chute to rescue Makoto, providing him with food and a means of escape, explaining how the mastermind had originally intended for Makoto to become the victim, planning to frame her for the murder and have her executed instead, whilst making their way up a giant ladder. Kyoko states she has regained some of her memories, revealing herself to be the super high school level detective who had come to Hope's Peak Academy to meet her father, the headmaster, who she is not on good terms with, arriving back inside the academy. Makoto and Kyoko confront Monokuma, calling his bluff that simply executing Makoto again would not prove that hope cannot defeat despair. Thus, they propose a final all-or-nothing class trial with everyone's lives on the line, in which the students must not only determine Makoto's killer, but also solve all of Hope's Peak Academy secrets after being granted access to all previously locked rooms. Makoto and Kyoko investigate the dorm's second floor and find a hidden room in the headmaster's lodge there. They discover the remains of Kyoko's father, who had died long before the killing game started, along with an SD card containing video interviews of all of the students agreeing to spend their lives in Hope's Peaks Academy. Although Monokuma pulls the plug before the video gets too far, whilst Kyoko deals with the revelation that her father cared more about her than she thought, Kokoda uses the headmaster's e-handbook to open some lockers, finding some textbooks allegedly belonging to Yasuhiro, and a notebook containing Kyoko's handwriting, hinting at there being 2 despair students afterwards. Makoto visits the science lab being used as a morgue, noticing some curious wounds on Makoto's body, before Monokuma gives him a photo featuring all 16 students, except for himself, as the class trial soon begins, with Monokuma joining the fray. The other students reveal they had also received similar photos, only with them missing from their respective photos, wondering where these photos came from. Makoto reveals the books he found, deducing they're each missing some of their memories revealed to have been stolen by Monokuma. Makoto then accuses Monokuma of murdering Makuro, deducing that Makuro was murdered twice, pointing out that the true cause of death were wounds eerily matching the ones Junko received after Kyoko proves her innocence by revealing the shameful burns of her hands. Makoto deduces from Monokuma's obscured evidence the identity of the culprit, Monokuma's controller, and the Academy's mastermind, to be none other than the real Junko Enoshima, who soon appears and reveals himself to be the true super high school level. Despair Junko reveals that she had used Makuro, her older twin sister, to take her place before showing others footage of the outside world, revealing it to be in total chaos. This is confirmed by Genocider, who retained her memories as they are kept separate from Toko's with Junko, subsequently revealing that the memories that were stolen from the other students were actually of 2 whole years spent together in Hope's Peak Academy. A year ago, when the tragedy hit the world, the school was converted into a shelter to protect the students, carrying Hope on their shoulders. However, Junko killed the headmaster, erased the students' memories, and began the killing game, betraying her own sister in the process. Junko then holds a final vote between hope and despair. If everyone votes for hope, they must leave the academy, but should even one student vote for despair, the students will remain in the academy, and Makoto alone will be executed. Makoto manages to use his own hope to inspire the others to stand up against despair, earning him the new title of Super High School Level Hope. With the trial over, Junko reveals herself in the ultimate despair and gives herself the ultimate execution, leaving behind an escape switch with hope in their hearts. Makoto and the others use the switch to leave the academy and venture into the unknown world, unaware that Monokuma is still active. The anime ends with this. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.